Mr. Griffith is recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank our chairman very much and pleased and welcome you to that chair and look forward to working with you over the next several years in that capacity. Let me just make it clear that the question earlier was, could somebody slip into a state court as a former practicing attorney in that arena and with a spouse who is a juvenile and domestic relations district judge in the Commonwealth of Virginia? You can't guarantee somebody won't commit an improper act, but it would be a fraud on the court to indicate that a child had been abandoned when that child came into this country with a parent. The bigger question for all of this is all those thousands of children. How many did you say it was last fiscal year that came across who were unaccompanied when they came to the border?
So the total number referred last year was, I believe 47,000. I had it in front of me a moment ago, I'm sorry.
I believe you said the average over the last several years had been between 40 and 60, so 47 would be on track. Right. If not exactly accurate, it would be consistent with the average. Is that correct?
That's right. If I take my glasses off, I'll actually be able to give you the number. Yes, last year in fiscal year 18 was 49,100 children. Over the last several years, it has fluctuated between 40,000 and 60,000 children a year.
And when they come across unaccompanied, you all take charge of them, as we heard earlier, make sure they get some medical attention, both physical and mental health. Is that correct?
Yes, they're referred to us by another federal agency, and only a federal agency can refer. We cannot lawfully take children directly, nor can state entities refer them. DHS refers them. And then we designate which of our facilities is right for the child and has a bed for that child, and DHS brings the child to that facility. That's where we begin to provide services.
And for those who come unaccompanied in the first place, the 40-some thousand predominantly, you all then try to find some place for them, whether it's with family or with an agency, a placement agency. Is that correct?
So we are required by TVPRA and the Homeland Security Act to place the child in the least restrictive setting. That means that almost invariably means an individual sponsor. And we work with the family to identify that individual sponsor. But I really want to emphasize this: children do not go out into sort of state adoption systems. That does not happen. And if we cannot find a family member, if we can't find a sponsor working with the family that can meet the emotional and financial needs of the child and that can get through our vetting process for child safety, that child remains in ORR care and can remain in ORR care in some cases until their 18th birthday.
And it's also the fact that there's lots of children who cross the border that you don't know how many that is because they never are placed into any agency's hands at all, and they don't come to your referral, and they're just in the country. Isn't that also true?
Certainly. The majority of apprehended children are children who are part of family units. That's what all of the separated kids were. But ordinarily, family units are managed by ICE, and those children don't come to ORR. There are, of course, also there's some children who enter the country without status, and they're not apprehended. We don't know it. We don't have visibility on them either.
And as a part of all of this, of the 49,000 last year, roughly 2,800 were people who came across with a parent or with somebody in the family, and then they were separated, of which I also was opposed. And you all have placed all, I think you said, but 6 of those, or determined that they can't be placed and are putting them through the standard process. Is that correct? Yes or no? My time's running out on me.
The 2,816 is the potential children of Ms. L class members.
Okay, and Ms. L is a court case that the court said that you have to deal with these children in an expedited manner and get them back to their parents. I'm going to have to move us along because I am running out of time. You have 6 cases left, but my understanding is that 5 of those, under the Ms. L case, the ACLU is playing a role, and that 5 of those have been delayed resolutions because you've been notified by the ACLU that there's something going on that they want to take a look at. Is that not correct?
So of the 6 children who might potentially still be reunified, 1 has a parent in custody. I don't mean ICE custody.
Okay,
I mean
I need to know, are the
custody.
5 being held up by the ACLU?
And the other 5, I would not say they're being held up by the ACLU. I'm saying that We are awaiting an indication from the ACLU what the parent's final decision is regarding the child.
What the parent's decision is regarding the child. There's some
Correct.
question whether they want the child. As tragic as that is,
Whether the parents wish to have the child reunified with them in home country or stay in OR care. There are 5 that we are awaiting that notification.
and that would create toxic stress too if your parent says, I don't want you back. It answers itself. I yield back.
Chair now recognizes